I have seen Matt Reeves' The Batman, and this film is definitely one to talk about. But is that a good or a bad thing? Follow me after the jump to find out. Right off the bat, I want to say that I love the Batman, and as a lifelong fan of the character, this really felt like the truest interpretation of the character in live action. After one viewing, not only is this my favorite Batman film, but it's also one of my favorite movies of all time. The Batman is an achievement on so many levels. It is impossible to decide what exactly to talk about first, but I guess we'll start with the man behind the cowl. Robert Pattinson delivers a fantastic performance as Batman and Bruce Wayne, portraying an intense, brooding version of the character. This movie is a year 2 story, and he's able to show you where this character is as a person at this stage in his life. I was surprised at how long you see him in the suit as Batman. He spends most of the movie suited up as the character, and you could say that we never really see him outside of the Batman persona. In this movie, Pattinson does a great job of conveying the fact that Batman is actually the dominant personality. That is where Bruce can be himself. When he's Bruce Wayne, he acts like a man outside of his own skin. He's so visibly uncomfortable. Bruce Wayne is used like another tool in his utility belt in service of solving the mystery present in the story. But I do feel like the movie opens the possibility for the Bruce Wayne persona to change, and I'm really excited for that moving forward.
New friend of yours? I'm not so sure. Looks like you upset her.
The rest of the cast is superb. There's not one performance in this film I did not like. I was really worried about Colin Farrell's version of the Penguin, but I really enjoyed what he ended up doing with Oz. Zoe Kravitz delivers a definitive take on Catwoman. Her character is so fascinating, and I kept wanting to spend more and more time with her as the film went on. Her Selina has a lot of depth, and I was very pleased with the direction they took with her character. Rounding out the rogues is Paul Dano as Edward Nashton, who was terrifying and interesting in his portrayal of the Riddler. In this characterization, they borrowed pieces from every Riddler origin from the comics, including Zero Year and Earth 1, and I was so fascinated with it. The only complaint I really have is that I wish we got to see more of Dano outside of the mask, because he was that damn good. Another character I found myself wanting to see more of was Andy Serkis' Alfred. He was so good in the few scenes we had of him, and I really loved the new dynamic between him and Pattinson. His Alfred is tough and capable, but also conveys the love and compassion that every good Alfred should have, especially towards Bruce. I was pleasantly surprised how much I loved John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. I like what they did with the character here, and his performance really helps to elevate the role. And personally, I love Jeffrey Wright in most things, and here is no exception. His James Gordon was in the movie far more than I thought, and I was very happy with that. I love his dynamic with Pattinson, and he is the everyman who's just trying to do good in a sea of evil and corruption. He gets flustered and he gets frustrated, but he's always there to step up when you need him. The story itself is what really makes this film special. It transcends the comic book genre to become one of the quintessential gritty noir detective movies. If I want to focus your expectations on one thing, it is that this movie is a detective story. It is not a summer blockbuster with action set pieces every 15 minutes. There is action, and when it's there, it's fantastic, but the movie is a slow burn, a puzzle that you are putting together piece by piece, and every great puzzle takes patience and concentration to finish. I was so impressed with the world building of this movie. This is a universe that feels lived in, that has a rich history that we're just only scratching the surface of. The care and effort that was put into this film shows as it pulls from so many different Batman stories and makes it all work together like an orchestra, conducting the perfect symphony. I picked up elements from Batman Year One, The Long Halloween, Catwoman When in Rome, Batman Hush, the Arkham City games, Zero Year, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Earth Ones, and dozens of single issues throughout Batman's career. This film is essentially a masterclass in how to build a shared universe while telling a complete and fulfilling story. There's so many directions they could actually go from here in the sequel, and I'm so excited to see what springs from this movie, because so much was teased and so much was left on the table to be explored. I can't wait to see what they announce is coming next. The Gotham in this movie is a Gotham we have really never seen before on film. A place that is dark and dirty and absolute shithole that has so much character. This version of Gotham is depressing and bleak and shows you why Batman's war is constant, and it makes you feel like maybe he can never really truly win the war on crime in Gotham City. But that, in large part, is of the choices of the director Matt Reeves. The direction in this film is gorgeous, and Reeves clearly was influenced heavily by the works of David Fincher. The use of color in this film is sublime, as the scenes are flooded with blacks, whites, reds, and blues. Michael Giacchino does what I believed impossible. He takes a character like Batman with so much iconic music surrounding him, and he creates a score that is memorable, heavy, and I haven't stopped humming since I left the theater. If I had a complaint for this film, it would be that it was a bit long, but I would have sat my butt in the theater and watched 3 more hours in this universe, hands down, no questions asked. This movie is a 5 out of 5 for me. Go and see it the very first chance you get, and if you're a fan of the character, you will not be disappointed, and that's a promise. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and comment down below your thoughts on the Batman. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.